Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel, dear viewers. In this video today, we will be discussing the very amusing, the very witty, the very metaphorically apt poem Valentine by the former poet laureate of the United Kingdom, Carol Ann Duffy. Before we devote our time and energy to the poem itself, the very title contains a rich history of intertextual linkages and echoes. So we are perhaps immediately reminded of Lewis Carroll's Valentine, in which he wonders whether friendship or love can be true only and only if the person is sad and gloomy and dejected in the absence of the friend or the beloved. We are immediately perhaps reminded of Edgar Allan Poe's acrostic Valentine. We perhaps recall the brevity and dark humor of Ernest Hemingway in his succinct two line Valentine. We are perhaps reminded of the witticism of Ogden Nash and Donald Hall in their Valentine poems. So there's a lot of connections and similarities and differences and comparisons and contrasts that can be made. Now, Carol Ann Duffy, the former poet laureate, poet laureateship has had a long and interesting history in the United Kingdom that can be traced back to Ben Jonson, who was granted a sort of a pension. However, it is John Dryden who was the first official poet laureate of the United Kingdom, and when laureates were appointed, they were usually appointed for life, for lifetime. They continued in their position until their death. However, uh, there was a break in tradition in 1999 when Andrew Motion was appointed the poet laureate. He came with a condition that he would stay on only for 10 years. And Motion's laureateship is noteworthy and remarkable for a number of reasons, because no doubt he has written on the royal family, he has written on the wedding of Prince Charles with Camilla Parker Bowles, but he has also written about everyday events that are in the news. He has written poems commissioned by social organizations, and that is why his laureateship has been transformative, revolutionary. Carolyn Duffy, who succeeded Andrew Motion, also continued this tradition of staying on in the position for only 10 years rather than for lifetime. And the current poet laureate, that is Simon Armitage, would probably also follow into the footsteps of his two predecessors. Uh, the title of the poem Valentine is also very much connected to Saint Valentine, whose death or martyrdom is commemorated on the 14th of February by the Western Christian Church, whether it is the Roman Church, the Anglican Church, or the Lutheran Church, whereas the Eastern Orthodox churches usually commemorate the day on in the month of July. Now, Saint Valentine has had a long history of helping soldiers during the third century in Rome, helping soldiers of the army of Claudius II marry secretly, because Claudius forbade marriage. It is said Claudius believed that soldiers who marry do not make good soldiers, and Valentine used to cut out hearts from parchments and offer them to the soldiers as a remembrance of God's love, as a remembrance of their vows. And Claudius, angry at this, had Valentine executed. There are other legends also associated that Claudius tried to convert Valentine to paganism, whereas Valentine tried to convince Claudius to accept Christianity. And Claudius, who was very angry at this, ordered the execution of Valentine. There is also one other miracle associated with Valentine, or credited to Valentine, is that before he was executed, He miraculously restored the eyesight of the blind daughter of the jailer where he was put in the jail where he was put in. So the day that is celebrated on the 14th of Feb is the day that commemorates the martyrdom of Saint Valentine. And based on this martyrdom and in remembrance of Saint Valentine, now there is this tradition of giving gifts, especially gifts that are heart shaped, soft toys and cards and etc. Uh, Carol Ann Duffy, or the speaker of the present poem, is different. He or she does come up with a gift for their beloved, but the gift is shocking, amusing, surprising. But as we will read the poem, we will find out that the speaker goes on to argue that the gift that he or she has brought is a very apt metaphor for love, and he or she actually goes on to prove it that it actually is a metaphor for love. And if it is a metaphor for love, then why cannot it be offered as a gift? Let us read. Not a red rose or a satin heart. The first stanza contains only the single line, not a red rose or a satin heart. It is obviously a kind of a clarification, perhaps in response to the question that the beloved would have asked, most probably on Valentine's Day, is that, "What gift have you brought for me?" And the speaker clarifies, "Not a red rose or a satin heart. I give you an onion." The single line of the first stanza in the negative creates a sort of an anticipation, creates a sort of a suspense that if not a red rose or a satin heart, then what? Chocolates, soft toys, what else? And now the first line of the second stanza reveals what gift the speaker has actually brought. I give you an onion. This speaker has brought an onion as a gift, and one is, as I said, would be shocked, would be surprised, would be amused that how can onion be justified as a gift of love. It is a moon wrapped in brown paper. Now, this is the first justification that the speaker provides, that why an onion is also a very apt gift to give as a symbol of love. Uh, the outside layers of the onion are compared to a brown paper. Gifts are usually packaged, gifts are usually wrapped in papers, and so the outer layers are compared with brown paper, whereas the onion itself, the inner layer, the white inner layer, is compared with the moon. It promises light like the careful undressing of love. Just as the moon shines brightly and the white of the onion also shines brightly, it promises light. Here, the speaker insists that you take this gift. The other person might be reluctant, the other person might want have nothing to do with this gift that the speaker has brought, and so the speaker is perhaps forced to insist that here you take this gift. It will blind you with tears like a lover. This is another similarity that an onion shares with love, is that lovers can also make you cry, and onions will also make you cry. It will make your reflection a wobbling photo of grief. And when we have cried because of some other person and we stand in front of the mirror and our image, our reflection is hazy, is wobbling, is not clear. So, love and onion are one and the same thing. Love also makes one cry, and onion also makes one cry. I'm trying to be truthful. Now, the speaker clarifies that you might be shocked, you might be offended, you might be surprised, you might be amused, but I'm trying to be truthful. I'm not trying to paint some fairy tale story here. I'm trying to be honest, I'm trying to be truthful. Not a cute card or a kissogram. I haven't brought a cute card for you. I haven't arranged for a kissogram to be delivered to you. Now, kissogram is a sort of a singing telegram. Letters and telegrams are sent, but kissogram is when a person living being, a human being, comes in to deliver the message, usually sings the message aloud, and towards the end of the message also offers or plants a kiss on the cheek of the recipient as a kind of a humorous touch. Now, this is a kissogram, a singing message. I give you an onion. Its fierce kiss will stay on your lips, possessive and faithful as we are for as long as we are. I give you an onion because an onion shares another similarity with love, is that its fierce kiss will stay on your lips, possessive and faithful. Lovers are sometimes possessive, quite possessive. Lovers obviously have to be faithful. An onion is also possessive and faithful because its taste, which the speaker or the poetess compares with a fierce kiss, stays on the lips of the person who has consumed the onion. That is why usually people tend to avoid eating onion during the daytime, during lunchtime, because of its, because of the smell that is associated with it, and if they consume it during nighttime, during their dinner. So an onion is also possessive and faithful. Lovers are also possessive and faithful. So then why not an onion should be a gift for love? Take it. Its platinum loops shrink to a wedding ring, if you like. There is another similarity between an onion and love, is that the tiniest loop of the onion is similar to a wedding ring. Both are white in color or grayish in color. Lethal. Love is also lethal sometimes. Mm, uh, Unsuccessful lovers sometimes choose to end their lives. The case of Romeo and Juliet is very much near to us, that though the two lovers loved each other, wanted to be united, they ended up dead because of the warring factions of their families. And so, love can also be lethal, and the taste of an onion is also lethal. Its scent will cling to your fingers, cling to your knife. Now, just as love has an all encompassing influence on our lives, it can influence each and every aspect of our being. Likewise, an onion also has an influence on everything around it, whether it is our fingers, whether it is our mouth, whether it is the knife that we use to cut the onion. So, its influence is also all pervasive as the influence of love. So, these are the similarities that the speaker says that an onion shares with love. So it is a symbol of love. It can and should be offered as a gift of love. And that is why the speaker says that I have brought an onion for you as a gift. We also have a fine internal rhyme in the line, its fierce kiss will stay on your lips. So kiss and lips, a fine instance of internal rhyme. And the poem is irregular in stanzaic division, as we saw that the first stanza contains only a single line, the second stanza contains four lines, the next stanza contains five lines, then the next two again are single line stanzas. So stanzaic division is irregular, but it is not done just for the sake of doing so. There is a very particular motive behind it, as we saw that it creates or builds a kind of a suspense or anticipation. Then the third stanza, where it begins just with a single word here, the insistence on the part of the speaker that no, this is actually a gift of love. It can be considered a metaphor for love. So everything that the poetess has done has a particular reason or motive behind it. This, I think, concludes our brief discussion on the poem. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please do not hesitate to drop in your suggestions, your comments in the comments box, and please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.